Welcome to Collection Connections Radioactive Curry. I'm Nate the Great. A little bit under the weather. Forgive my voice. I got a little bit of the COVID going on, but it's okay because I'm isolated from everyone, and these are my buddies. So even if I wasn't isolated, we'd be breathing each other's air anyway. I have got with me today all of my friends and family in this crazy internet adventure. We've got the Comic Lizard, the Jaded Geek, and the most electrifying man on Whatnot.
Yeah! Woo!
All right, today we have got Bahubali. It is Bahubali. I should have had this up already. I'm slipping. BAHU. 2015 film. I'm not a robot.
I am not a robot.
He clarified it. Thank you. Thank you.
I use Google so much that it doesn't trust how often I'm using it, so it asks me if I'm a robot or not once in a while. All right, in the kingdom of Mahishmati, while pursuing his love, Shivudu learns about the conflict-ridden past of his family and his legacy. He must now prepare himself to face his newfound arch enemy. Let's see, this has got an 8 out of 10 on IMDb and a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Starring Prabhas, Anushka Shetty, Tamana, Rana Dagobati, Nora Frati, and Adivi Sesh.
Ladies and gentlemen watching this, he's trying his best. That's all I'm gonna say.
Honestly,
he's trying his best.
they would talk shit if I was saying it wrong, but you know what, man? I'm Thai. As bad as you think the Indian names are, Thai names are the biggest. I have a cousin named Patra Polra Chusigre.
Wow.
We call him James.
That's an easy name.
All right, so Bahubali. This is from the same director of RRR.
Okay.
Which
then that's probably the part that I did like. Was those parts.
SS Rajamouli. The budget was 1.8 billion INR. And
That's is it rupees?
I think so. I think it's still rupees, isn't it?
1 point what?
1.8 billion INR.
Those have to be rupees. That's Indian rupees.
Yeah, you're spending billions on those movies, yo.
That doesn't equate
I need
over
to move.
to American dollars. It doesn't. I'm sure if I
I need
had
to
some
move.
calculator, I'd be able to figure
It'd
out.
be like, oh, that's $74.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Give me $74. I'll make you a fucking bomb ass movie, dude.
We're gonna figure out how much the conversion rate is here. Give us a second.
All right.
But in
So-
time,
Me personally, I know Fuzzy's gonna rip this apart, and which is crazy because he's he's the fuzziest one out of all of us, but he has a thing against what he calls swords and sandals. And this movie had swords, and this movie had sandals.
Damn right.
But I think I love this movie, and when I watched it, I talked about this on our last Radioactive Curry. When I watched it, we ended up my family wanted to just immediately dip in and watch the sequel, but I had to we can't sit here for 7 hours. We can't do it, so I had to break it up, and then I watched it a few days later. So I watched the sequel already too, and it's like it's for the next time, but but in the meantime, it was a great ride. It was a great adventure, and it might be what's coming up. We'll see how the voting goes, Fuzzy, and did you guys get a dollar amount?
we're trying.
Well,
So 1 rupee is worth 1.2 cents.
still in the millions, man.
That
Dude,
1
that's
point-
still a lot of money.
That 1.4 billion if you divide it, we'll just say by 100. Why does this keep coming out?
Because you're not doing it right.
Oh, because I got to put all the zeros.
You know what? Don't even- We'll figure it out. So let's
Just give it to me.
now you get to see the women, or the
So
women.
you
Yeah,
just-
the women fighting.
You just dropped 2 zeros off it then.
Okay, what are we doing now? Besides figuring out that the Western
140
What-
million.
What did you guys think of it? What did you guys think?
Okay,
I thought it was dope. I liked it. I thought the visuals were amazing. I thought that the scenes, the scenes in it, just like the there was some really cool fantastical elements in this one, but it was stunning. It was beautiful. The scenes were amazing, and you know, a lot of it, they didn't even get the sandals until they climbed up out of the abyss. They were barefooted through the whole beginning of it.
That's what it took me. When I first started, I said there was there was sandals. I thought they were barefooted too. I was like, you know, but I remember there was like a couple shots where I was like, sandals. There's sandals right there. God damn it! I was like, I've seen it. But I'm like, what? Okay, JD Geek and you guys, what did you think about it before I start giving my 2 cents?
okay, so I liked it a lot, but you know what? It has that to equate it to like the here over here like movie stuff. It's got that epic kind of feel like the fantasy like Lord of the Rings kind of does. And as soon as we got to the end of it, and I saw that, and I was like, wait, what? Like, because at the end it goes, the conclusion will be in 2016, and I'm like, the fuck you say? Like, and I told Josh, we were about ready to go upstairs for family dinner, and we had like a half an hour, and I'm like, you start that stuff right now. Like, start the second one right now. He's like, we can't watch it, and we have dinner. I said, I don't care. I'll call up and say, no. Then we're watching it tonight, because I need to know the end of the story, like, now. And as soon as that happened, I even looked at Josh, and I went, Fuzz is gonna like this movie, but he ain't gonna like this movie. Because like, he's gonna like certain aspects of this movie, but that bullshit at the end is gonna cause him to like really not like this movie. But I like the story. I like the romance, the epic kind of like feel to it. Yeah, there's some things that I think are silly in it, like when he creates his own bow and he jumps off the cliff and he shoots it, and as he's swinging, he's like, yeah, you know what I mean? He does it, yeah.
That was
the
the 80s, dude. That was 80s right
like
there.
Versions of it, like when he's doing like the exactly like the whole Breakfast Club thing, and I'm just like, really? But the one thing I liked about this, and I was talking to Josh about it, is the fact that when you watch TV shows and movies nowadays, and they do romances, or like there's like an epic scene and the man and the woman come together, you know, it becomes like a gratuitous sex scene. Like, you see boobies, you see all of this stuff. Like,
What I pay for.
But how about that metaphor? The
But
hand dropping the
that's
flower
thing.
into the
I
water.
I understand that. But like in this one, it seemed a little more racy than the ones that we've seen in the past. Because like he's like undressing her and like dressing
But
her
it was
back
cute.
up.
Like, it was done cutesy. He was like, da, 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 da. He spun her around him, and
Yeah,
the
it was-
fucking shit came off, dude. I was like,
But
all right.
But I liked that part of it. Like, I liked that you could show a love story without having like this big sex.
I was
scene.
telling Gwen that he went to the Pepe Le Pew School of Romance.
Right.
You guys are overlooking the one dopest thing about that scene. I want that guy to give me a tattoo, because he gave her a tattoo underwater. She didn't even know it was there. Gave her a tattoo on her back. Didn't even know it was there. I had this tattoo done to me, and I almost cried. Okay, so I want that guy to come give me a tattoo. That's all I'm saying, dude, because he was like...
You have to let little fishies tickle your hand and a snake to tickle your back.
I don't think that it translates literally. I think he's just drawing on her. There was no like, he wasn't.
the pin underwater was like the tattoo, and like I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, what's he gonna do with that thing? And then when she came up, it was all flamey and shit. I was like, that's detailed, dude. That's that. How do you do that underwater, dude? What the fuck?
And then during their love scene, like, you know, they matched them up. And...
Oh, that I'm not lying. You could ask Mrs. Fuzzy, dude. I fucking literally called her the second that happened in the movie, and I said, honey, I found our new tattoo. All right, dude. But I want this guy to give it to us, and me and you shake hands. It could be flaming.
All right, what'd you think?
So this is now the third movie that we've seen that's out of India, and of course it's going to be some kind of a trend for us. And what I'm really enjoying is, I guess, their cultural motif for these movies. You know, everything is very India centric. I appreciate that a lot. Of course, like some of the other movies, I'm lost a little bit in like historical details or some of their religious details. I don't understand the pantheon of gods that they have, because it's like millions of them. But I did enjoy in this movie that there's like this dramatic tension and like stuff that's built up in the beginning with the woman who is, you know, saving him, the main character, Bahubali, as a baby, and she, you know, issues this challenge to the gods that, you know, if I must give my life, you know, as a sacrifice, then let it be so, but let the baby live. And she dies like holding the baby up out of the water for these like villagers nearby to find. And that plays into what happens later in the movie so that you understand it better. It was one of the things that I wasn't really anticipating, but there was a time shift to go back to the past to give the backstory to it. And I wasn't ready for that, because the movie being nearly 3 hours long, you know, you get into it and you're like, okay, you know, they've gotten to this point, and, you know, he's rescued the queen or whatever that was in chains. And then you're like, okay, now they're going to go do the battle to like defeat her enemies or something like that. It's like, but wait, this is why this happened.
Part 2.
No.
Like, oh, what?
You're hitting it on the nail for me too, man. You're hitting it right there on the nail, dude. Right.
They got to what they thought was Mordor, and they found out that they got 4 more doors until Mordor.
No, man. Like, okay. First of all, you guys just explained shit that I didn't even know happened in the movie. I honestly thought the one holding the baby was the one in the chains. I thought that was the same. And I was like, why don't they know each other? I'm like, why don't they know each other? This is the one that fucking was holding up. And dude, tell me her old makeup did not look like more scarier than fucking anything we saw in Poltergeist. The way
She was gnarly.
She looked up and I went, oh fuck that! I would have killed her, dude. I would fucking die. Like I could. Like she scared me, but like. When it started, dude, I'm not.
They did a good job uglying her up, because she's not ugly.
The opening, she's, you know, got the baby.
No, it's a different woman.
Right, but I'm just saying, like the way it opened, where she's got the baby, and she's going, and then she does the turn, and you see the arrow sticking out her back. I literally threw my fingers up. I was like, oh shit. This chick's dope. She ain't even flinching. She's just walking with an arrow sticking out her back. I was like, okay, they got me right there. So this director is now is going to be my Indian Tarantino, because he knows how to do it. Like there's scenes like you were saying, Nate, like there's these beautiful scenes in it, like very well done. Almost, and I know you guys are going to hate me saying this, but you know how much I love him. A Michael Bay touch to it, dude. Just tell me that scene with all the fire and everything. That I was like, this is Michael Bay. I was like, holy shit, dude, look at this thing.
I like when he starts laughing.
So you were saying how he got to the middle and it just goes to a flashback, right? So I'm doing the same one, like, okay, so now he's gonna go after the king. Again, I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know if he does or whatever, but I'm like, he's gonna go after the king. They're gonna get pissed. I'm gonna have to, it's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. Flashback. just boom, like that. We're giving him a flashback, but it's the same actors, right? So is this like them in another life, or do I need to see the second movie to explain this to me? Because that's where I got
lost. The second movie will explain it. The second movie does explain it.
But there, I mean, I did wonder the same thing.
Yeah, because I had to do like a pie chart for Josh
Okay, so I'm not the only one that felt that way.
This is the grandmother, and this is the wife and daughter.
I was lost. I was like, I'm also, how did he become a baby? Because you know how he was going after the evil, witch doctor guy, like on the elephant at the end. I was like, oh, he's gonna cast a spell and make him a child again. That's what's gonna happen. Like I'm writing this whole other movie in my head, and it kept just going the other way. I was like, what the? It did what? Who? And then, like you said, the ending, ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, it's been out for a while. I'm about to spoil the freaking Lord of the Rings ending of India right now. Here we go. I want to find the man that killed my father. It was me. Cut to a guy being pierced, credits. I was like, I told my wife, I watched that whole movie. I didn't know that's what we were looking for. I was like,
that's why I texted me. I'm like, damn it, man.
What the I threw my phone at the fucking TV. I was like, fuck this movie. God damn it. Like, look, the score I'm gonna give it is not bad because I do think it has great cinematography. The story is very good with, as far as like it's almost a Superman story, Noah, kind of style where the child has to get back and he's super. And then, dude, tell me they didn't use animals in the best ways. And it's fun when he had the horse and he was just tumbling over those fucking guys. All he needed to do was fly. If he started flying, I was like, this is Superman. We're watching Superman right now. He was climbing that wall, that fucking mountain like nothing.
They got power, man.
Whether or not he's gonna make it.
But the part that kills me, right? So like here, we go watch a musical one day. Like watch it, you watch a regular musical, and you watch it, it's good. But then like that second or third time, like watch Grease. We've all seen Grease a million times, right? But you could always tell the backup dancers from the real actors because they'll go like this, like they'll come into a scene. And, everyone else kind of just walks in like, hey, man, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. And then the other actors will go, hi, how you doing? There's always like, they strike a pose, right? So all his homies in the beginning of the movie were striking poses when they're like, hey, bud, what are you doing? Like, oh, God damn, man. Get two good actors right there because they didn't even dance. They didn't do nothing.
Wow.
But the story's good. Like, again, it was a very... it's when you went to that flashback, you lost me. Like, that's where they lost me. I was like, I'm all, dude, they couldn't, I would have been happy if they made a trilogy or even just played it normal, like played the flashback first and then it gets into this, because then I could be like, oh, okay, dude, like, I get it. Like, I didn't understand some of the stuff. I thought it was beautifully made, like it, except towards the end, I made a joke to my wife. I said, I know why they ended the fucking movie that way. You can tell they ran out of money on the budget right there, dude. When he's going through the crowd of people and he's got the chariot of... Do they have McDonald's and shit out there? Because I swear to God, do you ever hear the stories about Batman and Schumacher having to sit through McDonald's pitching them like toys? So they had to put it in the movie. So like some of the stupid stuff Batman would wear and stuff is so they can make a toy of it, right? Like that was why they did it.
That makes sense.
This movie had that scene with that fucking chariot with the propeller. When I saw that, I go, oh, that's McDonald's asking them to make that so they can make some sort of toy or something like that. Because it was dope. Like, he was just hacking everybody up like that. And it looked great in the beginning with him on the horse and then him on that. And he's got the spears and instead of doing the two guns, he's got the fucking spears and he's just stabbing people as he's going along. But then go back and watch it. I swear to God, it's cardboard cutouts just stuck right there, and he's going by it.
Is it cardboard cutouts?
I swear, if it's not, they ran out of money to make it like fucking. So I was like, when it ended, I went, they ran out of money. They ran out of money. That's
well, according to my calculations, if my math is not way off, this movie cost $174,000 to make.
American dollars.
American.
Okay,
dollars.
well then I give him more credit, dude, because that's fucking beautiful. It's fucking. There's some of those sequences are very well done. Like even like we were talking about the sex scene, like, you know, like when he's meeting her and stuff, and, you know, like I love the way he, you know, dolled her up and shit. He was taking grapes and smearing them on her lips and fucking, you know, like doing all like I was just all, I'm in it, dude. Like I'm in it. Like, I'm down, dude. Like this is cool.
And they're still able to incorporate the love as his motivation for. Well, first of all, he's got this urge to get out from his water-bound paradise, and he wants to get up. And then as he's constantly trying to get up there, he finds that mask, and he reconstructs his girl backwards from the image on the ground. And he chases her ghost up out from the depths of down below, and beautiful waterfall, I must say.
The scenery in it's beautiful. Even the snow, like, and I was dying. When did Ravenous come out? Did it come out like around then with that Leo movie? I think it came out around then, but I swear that's
Ravenous wasn't Leo. It was
what was the one with Leo where he's in the woods and the bear attacks him?
Oh goodness, that's not Ravenous. Ravenous is the one where they eat people and they get power from them.
That's right. That's why.
I know which one you're talking about, but it's slipping my mind.
Like there was some sequences in that where I was like, oh, they just watched that movie and he got inspired, like, because I was like, where did the snow come from? Like all of a sudden they're in snow and shit, and then I was like, all right, fuck it, let's keep going. Let's go.
That was one of the things that I was wondering about. Like, is this like a fresh story, or is this based somewhere in their like mythology? Because the kingdoms that they presented, I'm not that familiar with Indian history, but the names didn't really ring a bell, and I wonder if they're like mythical things to represent their heroes.
That's a great question. If you guys are watching that, let us know below.
Yeah, we seriously want to know.
Persia, they reference Greece,
Sure.
They reference like actual like places.
So
So obviously it takes place.
Right. I'm wondering
Here,
wondering if this is like their version of 300, right? 300
It had
is
that
based
feel
on,
to
is
it.
on history, but it's
Right.
obviously jazzed up for Hollywood. You know?
Yeah, and even that, like, I love this director. He loves to do kung fu, like hardcore kung fu. Like he even did the whole where the guy falls and his neck hits the ground, but his body folds up. You know, the whole like that. And he brings him down. I was like, yes, dude, like that's what I want to see. And then there's always some sort of cool, like, you know, sword fight scene. And again, he was Superman. He took out a whole fucking crowd.
Did you see the Ong Bak knee?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like there's a lot of Muay Thai kickboxing in there, you know what I mean? Like, but he's still like.
You seen Ong Bak before, Fuzzy?
Oh, dude, I was at the premiere of Ong Bak here in the States, and they brought him out on stage, dude, and they revved up a motorcycle.
Oh, he did a stunt show.
He literally flipped over it because everyone kept going, "That's not real, like that's not real." And they go, "Watch it." And he just freaking did it, and he went like that right over the thing in front of us. So I was like, "Oh, this guy's the next Jackie Chan." I was wrong.
So just so we're clear,
Because we watched both of them back to back, and so I'm confused since it's one story.
In the beginning, the flashback scene includes the battle with like the big tarps that they light on fire. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I wanted. So
We don't want to talk about the second one.
Oh, don't worry about it. Please tell me.
So
please.
like in the.
Does the second one end at another question mark? Because if
No.
it does, Fuzzy says no.
The second one doesn't end in a question mark, and I think the second one's a better movie.
Okay.
It's,
all right.
It's entirely. I don't know. Am I wrong, guys?
It's all takes place for the most part. It all takes place in the past, except for the last like hour or half hour. Like it's the first 20 minutes is in the present, and then it goes flashback to explain how we get to this point. And that's like the whole chunk of it. And then like the last half hour is like back in the present where he's taking care of business. And, you know.
I don't know that I would necessarily categorize it as better, but for me, there seems to be a definite tone shift between the present narrative and what happens in the past. And, you know, kudos to the main actor for the roles that he played, that they come across as being distinct. They don't come across as being the same. I was initially confused about it because
he's like,
I
who's
know
the
that
father and who's the son? What the fuck's going on?
Prabhas.
Yeah, that was my thing. I kept telling you, I thought they turned him into a baby. I thought that was what we got. Oh, they're gonna turn him into a baby, and he fucking, that's what happened.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that I know that in India and their religion they believe in reincarnation.
Right.
So I was trying to think, like, is this what's going on? It's the same guy, just in a previous incarnation or something like that. But the second movie, clarifies that, because most of it is in the past, so you can identify those characters.
Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Jay the Geek, I know how you feel about the Marvel universe, right? I would give this director a fucking Marvel movie all day. I think he can do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you watch the sequence when he's walking through and the statue's about to fall, and then everyone kind of just glimpses at him. That's a superhero entrance. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you reveal your fucking hero. You know what I mean? Like, the thing, it was on his face and the kind of wind just blew it up, and then the one guy sees him and everyone else kind of sees him. They're just like, oh my God. And they start saying his name, and then they quietly do it, and all of a sudden everyone's chanting and they're doing it, and he just disappears into the, in the fire when the thing caught on fire, and he just kind of turned and walked and then went away. I was like, give this guy a goddamn movie, man. Just give him a fucking one. Just give. And then he made RRR. I mean, that's fucking
Here's the thing,
positive right there.
Here's the thing, though, right? We got, 370 million Americans? They got 1.4 billion Indians. So they have a billion more people than we do.
Yeah.
I remember that one of the big things that Chinese people had against Bruce Lee was that he always wanted to go back to Hollywood. He ruled Asian cinema. He was a god there. And they're like, why aren't our cheers good enough for you? Why isn't our love good enough for you? Why do you need their love so much? So, I mean, does he need, from his perspective?
Oh, no, he doesn't need it.
You know what I mean?
We need him.
Yeah.
I'm calling him to action to come help us out. Like,
there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like this. There's directors you watch, like even It, dude. Like, you know what I mean? The new It that just came out, the 1 and 2. Those are well done movies. Like, if you would have give somebody a chance to prove themselves. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't need to prove himself, but I think it would be like a challenge for him. Be like, yeah, let's take on this fucking. He's already making hero movies. That's what he's making. So give him a huge budget. You know what I mean? Let him go buck wild. Give him Miss Marvel. You want to do it? Fucking let him do it, dude. Like, well, I guarantee that would have been good.
Here's the thing. I agree that he's got the requisite talent. I think the problem is that the MCU has been wrecked already, and it would be beneath him to come over here.
Never. We have the multiverse, man. Put him in the Do I need to explain it? Look, the multiverse means anything can happen. We could literally have someone fart in one multiverse, take out everything. We now have a fresh start. Boom, he's in there.
Yeah. The West is creatively bankrupt. I would prefer to stay over there and strengthen his own people. That's not to say that I don't. In an ideal world, it would be great to have this director come over here and to contribute to the stuff that we're doing. But in the present circumstances, I would think for him and for his audiences, it would be better if he stayed there and continued to bang out these epic films.
Well, at least give the guy fucking rights to do the Indian version of like fucking some superhero, movie. Like I know they're doing them, because that's what we've been watching. Every movie you guys have had me watch is all some sort of like superhero movie. You know what I mean? And I like that. Like, it's just done differently. And again, you guys know I don't like sandals and swords, dude. So when you hear my score, you might be like, "What the?" And I'm telling you, it's because it was actually a good movie. It was just
I just want
to punch someone with that ending. I'm giving it an 8, dude, and it's because that director knows what he's doing. He could tell a story. He gives you a good love story, like we were talking about. Again, no woman in this movie, not one of them, you could say, "Oh, she's a damsel in distress." Even the damsel in distress could whoop your ass. You know what I mean? They just caught her off guard. It was just, you know, like that's. I like that.
She'll pull the air out of her back and kill you with it.
I'm scared of snakes. Okay, dude. When that snake came out, I'm like this, tighten, very tight. And she was like this, and she went, and then fired the arrow. Oh, I was like, she's my hero. She's the toughest lady I ever met in my life, dude. I love. Did
she take the place of the villain with the nose ring?
Nope. No, don't talk bad about my girl, dude. I already told my wife. I said if we ever see me take a plane trip to India, you know who I'm going to see.
All right, guys.
And 8, very good.
Us, I like this movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It had it all. It had the story, the directing. I like the color, but I also like the singing and I like everything about it. It's just. Again, it's just like what we were talking about the last movie. It seems like it's a classically Hollywood type movie. You know, it's got that like MGM Studios feel. Like I said, all of these movies so far have that kind of thing, but they've got the action that you didn't get really until you got like Ben-Hur or something like that, you know? But it still has that classic Hollywood feel, and it doesn't, it's not woke. You know, like stuff isn't thrust down my throat saying, yeah, she wants to be a tough girl and do the thing and let her do her thing, but at the same time, she can still be a woman and feminine. All of them were like that. They were tough as nails, but they were still women. They were still feminine. They were still taking advice from men without putting the men down. You know, all of that stuff, and I like and I can appreciate that, and I love it, and it's definitely a 9 for me. It's not a perfect because it's in 2 parts. If it was a 1-parter and you got all the whole storyline in it, it would have been a 10 for sure. But
fucking ending.
Yeah, so because we're evaluating this movie by itself and not the two together, I'm going to give it the same rating that the Fuzzster did. I'm going to go with an 8. I think that the fact that it cuts off in the middle of the narrative is kind of an issue. But the other thing, at least for me, is that there are some portions of the movie where the CGI is a little rough, particularly the battle sequences. When I look at this movie and I think that The Hobbit did it better, you know it's a problem because The Hobbit wasn't great. So I think that the battle sequences in The Hobbit look better than this movie, but this movie had more. The battle sequences had more gravity to it than The Hobbit. The Hobbit, the Battle of 5 Armies, the battle at the end is just silly. In this one, the battle is important, it's relevant, it drives the narrative forward. But again, the CGI stuff is just, it's a little short. But they're going to get there. This shows that they can build in that direction.
It's Willow short.
This one's a 9 for me. I wanted to be able to watch it in one sitting and be satisfied. I had the same problem that you guys did. I didn't want to broadcast that was going to be an issue. I knew it would be when you guys got to the cliffhanger, and I'm sorry for that. If it happens again, I won't tell you again next time because we need to all do this.
If I break a phone, you're going to owe me one because I swear to God, I throw whatever's in my hand. If that shit happens, I throw it. I just go,
but Fuzzy,
remember,
part.
I'm getting these movies from our followers, so I got a whole basket full of them now for people that are commenting on these videos. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, please tell us some mafia ones that these guys were talking about or something like that.
Pick them.
There it is. That one, whatever. I swear, I was all excited for it. I was ready. I was like, dude, I'm going to watch some Indian mob shit.
And also,
the trailer comes on and I go, what the fuck? And that's why I sent you guys that picture. I go, is this it? Because you lied to me. This is not mafia.
Sorry.
And also for you guys that are watching our review of these movies and marveling at our complete ignorance of what's going on. I personally, I like Triple R the best. I think it's great, and the actor that plays Ram Charan, I would like to see more movies with him in it. So if you got suggestions along that line, put those in the chat below too.
Yes, and then is there? And honestly, you know what I really want us to try a comedy. I want to try one of their comedies. Like I do.
Right? Oh my God.
I want to see what is like considered like the Hangover out. You know what I mean? Like what's their big like comedy? I'll be like, let's watch that, dude. Like let's see. And I'll be like, okay, guys, you got to explain this. Or I was like, oh my God, that was great. You know?
It's either going to be a big hit or it's going to go right over our heads.
Right, exactly. Like I had a quick side note. There's a show called Dinner for Five, and it's Jon Favreau just sitting around having dinner with a couple of his buddies, right? And he's talking to what's his name, Big Worm from Friday, the actor. He's there, and he goes, "I'm huge in Africa, man." He's like, "You want to know what's funny out there? Elephant shit." He's like, every movie I get elephant shit dumped on me, and I get paid millions of dollars. Like, I'll do it all day. And I was like, that's funny out there, man. It's funny. Like, you know, I'd laugh, but a whole movie of that? Like, what the? So, yeah, I can't wait, dude. Like, I can't wait to see what they got.
That's great. All right, well, there you have it. Bahubali, the beginning. Our review, we had 2 8s. What'd you give it, Liz? 9?
Yeah.
2 8s and 2 9s. Not a bad score. And
Check it
we'll
out,
see.
ladies and gents.
We'll see if he comes out if we come out for the sequel next week. Until then, radioactive.